Hey everyone, and welcome back to Frontiers to Talking, the podcast for parents and educators navigating the messy, magical journey of raising emotionally healthy kids. I'm your host, Ashley Bell, school counselor, curriculum designer, children's book author, and mom of two high-energy, high-feeling kids who really like to do things on their own terms. And today, we're tackling something that trips up so many kids, even the ones who seem totally easygoing most of the time. Transitions. Moving from screen time to dinner, leaving the park, turning off a game, getting ready for school, switching from recess back to math. These moments, the in-betweens, are going from a preferred to a non-preferred task, often cause the biggest emotional blow-ups. So in today's episode, we're going to explore why transitions are so hard for kids, what's really happening in their brains, common mistakes we make that add fuel to the fire, my 3-step transition plan that actually works, and a fun, free transition fortune teller craftivity that gives your kids visual cues and ownership during tricky moments. We've got a lot to cover, so let's dive in. Let's start with the why. Why are transitions so hard? Well, kids live in the present. They're not planning 5 steps ahead, or for the most part, they're not considering what comes next. When they're building a block tower, deep into a Minecraft game, or swinging at the park, that moment is their entire focus. So when we come in with time to clean up or let's go, we're interrupting their flow. To them, it feels like we just pulled the rug out from under their feet. This is especially hard for kids who struggle with emotional regulation, or have ADHD or sensory sensitivities, or those who are deeply engaged in imaginative or focused play, or those kids who feel anxious about what's next. And here's where the brain science comes in. The part of the brain that helps us with flexibility and planning, the prefrontal cortex, is still developing all the way through the mid-20s. For young children, it's brand new construction. That means the brain that's in charge of switching gears, thinking ahead, and staying calm during change simply isn't fully online yet. So when we expect kids to quickly shift from one thing to another, we're often asking a developing brain to do something it's not wired to do smoothly. It's like handing the keys of a manual car to a teenager who's still learning where the brake pedal is and has never even heard of a clutch. They might get there eventually, but not without some bumps along the way. Their brains aren't just reacting to the change, they're reacting to the loss of control. And without the right supports in place, transitions can feel like falling off a cliff with no parachute. Now let's be real. As parents and teachers, we can make transitions harder without realizing it or even intending to. We give last-minute commands without warning because we ran out of time. We rush through the transition because we're in a hurry. We use an impatient tone, or we focus on the task instead of the emotion. Does any of that sound familiar? Saying things like, let's go, or why aren't you ready yet, or we have to leave now. I've said all of those. But when we rush or raise our voices, we increase stress in an already stressful situation. The key is to create predictable, connection-based routine that helps kids feel safe in those in-between moments. So to do that, here's my simple 3-step transition plan that actually works. Step 1, prep the brain. Step 2, make it predictable. Step 3, connect before you redirect. Let's talk about each step in more detail, starting with step 1, prep the brain. Give a warning and name what's coming next. Calm tones, not rushed. Saying things like, in 5 minutes, it'll be time to put your toys away and get ready for bed. Or, after this episode, it's time to be done and clean up. Or, when the timer rings, we are heading to school. Don't just say what's ending, say what's beginning. The brain needs an anchor. Instead of stop playing, try when we're done, we'll have lunch. It gives kids something to look forward to instead of just losing what they love. Step 2, make it predictable. Use visuals, songs, or routines so transitions feel safe. Timers or countdowns, having a family cleanup song, like picture schedules where they can visually see what's happening next, or even visual checklist. The more consistent the routine, the calmer the brain feels. When kids know what's coming next, the prefrontal cortex doesn't have to work as hard to adjust, and that lowers the stress response. Step 3, connect before you redirect. Before jumping to instructions, pause for empathy. Saying things like, I know it's hard to stop playing, but it's time for your yummy lunch. Or it's tough to get up when you're cozy, huh? But it's time to start our homework. Or even, I'm here to help, let's do this together. That one moment of connection lowers defenses and builds cooperation. It tells your child, I see you, I get it, I'm here with you. And that makes the shift feel less like a demand and more like teamwork. In real life, this looks like bedtime. My 4-year-old was lining up all of her dollhouse figurines. I said, all right, it's time for pajamas. Cue, no, I'm not done yet. My first instinct is to say, too bad, let's go, you've had enough time. But instead, I paused, got down on her level, and said, let's set a timer for 2 minutes so you can finish organizing. When it rings, we'll put on pajamas. Deal? 2 minutes later, when the timer rang, she had the figurines lined up and ready for bed. She felt satisfied and in control and got dressed without a fight. Do transitions always go that smoothly? No, absolutely not. We're dealing with children. There are going to be times when that alarm goes off and your perfectly prepped plan ends in a monstrous meltdown. But the more we prep, the more we predict, and the more we connect with our child, the smoother transitions get over time. Think of it as like building muscle memory. Every repetition makes it easier. To help bring this to life, I've created a craftivity called the Transition Choices Fortune Teller. Here's how it works. Print the template, fold it into that classic cootie catcher shape, and use your fingers to move the components. On the outside flaps are common tricky transitions like bedtime, leaving the park, turning off the TV, and starting homework. Inside, kids choose a number, and when they lift that flap, they'll find a transition strategy to try. Things like taking balloon breaths, doing a silly stretch, using a timer, or asking for help. The best part, kids feel like they are choosing the strategy instead of having it forced on them. That ownership gives them a sense of control, which is exactly what's missing in most tough transitions. You can grab the free printable version today by clicking the link in the show notes. So let's take a moment to recap because we went over a lot just now, very, very quickly. So, number 1, transitions are tough because kids live in the present and often feel out of control. Number 2, meltdowns aren't bad behavior. They're signals that the brain needs support. Number 3, use the 3 steps. Prep the brain, make it predictable, and connect before you redirect. And number 4, try the transition fortune teller to give kids more independence and ownership. Your action step this week, pick one transition in your child's day that's usually rough or can be rough. Use one of the tools we talked about, a timer, a picture schedule, or an empathy phrase, and see how it changes the tone of the transition. Next week, we'll talk about emotional hangovers, what to do when your child stays upset long after the meltdown ends. Until then, stay calm, stay kind, and remember, together we will turn the tears into talking.